श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे पौरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गजाननं भूतगणाधिपतं कपित्तजं बहुफलसारभक्षणं मासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेद्विघ्नोपशान्ते। व्यासम् अष्टनत्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे जगदातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मदेवासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we started looking at Pativrata Mahatmya Parva, where Yudhishthira asks Markandeya, what is this Draupadi is very chaste and of good conduct. Was there anybody similar to that? Then Markandeya starts explaining about Savitri's story. There was this king in Madra called Ashwapati. He was very uh, fully firm, good king, and he was ruling his people very well, looking after all of them, all his subjects. But he did not have any children, so he did for 10,000 every day. He did 10,000 oblations in the fire with Savitri mantra, and like that he did that. And then after 18 years, Devi Savitri became pleased, and she blessed him. Okay, when he requested for a son, she blessed him a daughter, and after some time his wife gave birth to a daughter, and he named his daughter as Savitri, the Devi Savitri herself. So named her, and that daughter started growing as the day passes, and she comes to age of marriage. And one day, looking at her, Ashwapati thinks that she need to marry her off now, and then she tells her that you go and find a good husband for yourself, because you are so beautiful, nobody wants to come and ask your hand, so you go and find one yourself. So with that, with the brahmanas and counselors, she sets out, and after some time, once king of this Madra Ashwapati was on the sitting in the assembly. Narada comes there. And when Narada comes and seeing him, Ashwapati gets up and offers him all the respect that's needed, and then offers him the seat. Sitting there, Narada asks, they were discussing on many things. At that time, Savitri returns there. And when she comes, Narada asks where this daughter had gone, and where all she has gone, what she has done. She looks like she has grown up. Why don't you marry her off? And she has already come for the marriage age. Why you're not married her off? So Ashwapati says that surely exactly the same business I have sent her, and she has now returned after searching for her husband. So let's ask her. And he asks Savitri, tell me everything in detail. Then Savitri uh, looks at him, worships him, and then she says, I went all around all the kings and kingdoms and uh, all the rishis, places where I'm looking for a husband. And then finally, I came across king of Shalva, the Kshatriya by name of Dhimatsena. He was king of Shalva, but while he was ruling his kingdom, he became blind. And because he became blind, he also had a son. He had only one son, and when he became blind, the the kingdom was overtaken by him. Somebody else took over that kingdom, and he was with his young child and his wife. He left the kingdom and he came and stayed in the forest, doing ascetic austerities, practicing austerities. He is there, and his son, even though he was born in a city, began to grow like in an ashrama, and that son is fit for to become my husband, and I have accepted him to be my husband. And that's what Savitri says. So she says that there is this Shalva king Dimatsena living in forest. His son, I'm going to marry. Hearing this, Narada was listening to this, said, "Oh no, Savitri has committed a huge mistake. Whether it's knowingly or not knowingly, she selected this Satyavan as her husband. Of Satyavan is of excellent qualities. She selected him as the husband, but she did a huge mistake. His mother and father, both of them, always very truthful in their speech, and that's why the Brahmanas named their child as Satyavan. And this child, when he was born, when he was young, he used to make clay horses and draw the pictures of horses. That's why he's also called Chitrashva. So Narada gives a background, but he doesn't tell why Savitri did so wrong in selecting Satyavan as the husband. So then, hearing this, Ashwapati starts asking questions. He says, "Is Prince Satyavan, is he devoted to his father? Is he devoted to his mother? Is he forgiving? Is he courageous?" So he asks those questions because those are the important qualities. So then Narada says, this Satyavan is very energetic. He has energy like Surya himself. He got the wisdom like Brahaspati, and he is like brave like Indra himself, and he is forgiving like Prithvi herself. So he is of such a good conduct. Then Ashwapati asks, is that Prince Satyavan very liberal in his gifts? Is he devoted to Brahmanas? Is he handsome? Is he lovely to see? Narada says, Narada responds saying, this Satyavan is very much he's looking at worships Brahmanas. In giving gifts, he's like Dranti Deva. In truthful of speech and devotion to Brahmanas, he's like Shibi himself. Once he promises, he always gives something. And he is like Yayati in his splendor, in his energy. And he's like Chandra himself in his beauty. So there is nobody like him. He is like Ashwini Devatas in beauty, with full senses under control. He is very brave. He is truthful, with always looking after his people, his friends, and everybody. Is free from malice. He is very modest. He is patient, and all the good qualities are there with him. And he also says, Narada says that this is for that family. He is such a good son that is very of excellent character. Then hearing this, Ashwati became a little bit puzzled because Narada said, "Why Savitri selected this uh, man as the husband?" But Narada is giving all the great things about him. There is looks like this Satyavan is such a person that there is nobody else Savitri could have found. Then Ashwapati is confused. He asks, "Then now tell me, you told me all the great things about Satyavan. Tell me what are his defects, if he has anything." Then Narada says, there is only one defect that's going to be worse than all the good qualities he has. So he has got only one defect, and that defect is within 1 year from today, this Satyavan will die. That's the only problem. Everything else is fine with him, but in a year from today, he is going to die. Hearing this, Ashwapati becomes alarmed. He tells Savitri, Savitri, you did searched very well, good person, good husband, but he's not the right one. Go and find somebody else. Then, because this Narada, whatever he says, he is the Rishi of Devatas, and it's going to happen. So you go and find somebody else. Then Savitri says that anyone who has promised something, was selected something, we can't change it. So she says that death comes only once. A daughter can be given away only once. You can't marry her off twice. And if one person can say, I give away, that means I will give you something as a gift, an item. That's only once, because once you give away, You can't take it back and give it to somebody else. Similarly, these three things can happen only once. So she says that a daughter can be given away only once. That means I was already given away to Satyavan. So I have already selected him, and then only I told you about this. So if people, if ever the rule is first you think about mentally something of doing it, then you do it. So I have already thought about doing this and marrying him. So how can I change this? I can't change my mind like that. So hearing this, Narada says that Savitri will not change her views. She will not change her decision. So you make prepare for this wedding. So hopefully, and this wedding is approved by me. Narada says that you prepare for this wedding, it is approved by me. Hearing this, Ashwapati, so what he does is he says, I will not disobey whatever you have said because you are my guru. So I will do as you say. So saying this, Narada says, may all things, good things happen to you. And then Narada departs from there. So after Narada has gone, so Ashwapati starts thinking about his daughter's wedding. He invites all the Brahmanas and Ritvijas and everybody, Purohitas and everybody. And then with them, he goes to the forest where Dhimatsena was living. And he goes to his ashrama. And then he goes on barefoot there again. So it's important, right? So you are, as a king, you are going as a chariot. But when you reach him, when you reach his ashrama, he does not, he starts the final distance, he walks by foot, so he's showing respect to that Dhimatsena. He goes there and meets that blind king there, and seeing Ashwapati coming, Dhimatsena offers him his seat, offers him water to wash his feet and hand, and then gives him a cow as part of the Madhuparka that's given to that welcoming that king. And then Dhimatsena asks, why have you come here? What is the purpose of your visit? Listening this, Ashwapati says that I have this beautiful daughter named Savitri. You agreeingly please take her as your daughter-in-law. Dhimatsena, listening to this, says that I don't have a kingdom. I have taken my home in this forest now. We are engaged in this austerities, ascetic austerities, living like rishis, brahmanas. How can I take your daughter and who lived in a city, who lived in a palace as a princess? How can I take her and bring this to this hardship? Ashwapati says that my daughter knows very well all these details, and I also know that happiness and misery comes in cycles. So you may be in misery now, you may be in trouble now, but it will be, it will all change. It will change. So don't think about that. I have made my mind, and you, I have considered you as my friend, and also in equality, I see you as if somebody who is fit for alliance. And similarly, I consider myself as fit for alliance with you. So therefore, accept her as your daughter-in-law and Satyavan's wife. Timatsena says that I was also thinking about an alliance with you for my son, but considering my situation, I did not come and ask for that. And but you have come, it is great. So let's let this wedding happen. So with that, with all the Brahmanas and Ritvijas assembled there, they conduct this wedding, and then Satyavan marries Savitri, and then after that marriage, Ashwapati goes back to his kingdom, Madra, and Dhimatsena with his son Satyavan and daughter-in-law and his Dhimatsena's wife, they live in that house. Satyavan becomes very pleased, and she also, Savitri also, became very pleased having uh, got Satyavan as her husband. Then, after her father has gone away, she came with all the ornaments and everything, with all the expensive dresses and things like that. Savitri has come to that forest. She puts all things away and she dresses in barks and clothes dyed like a rishi munis. So she starts serving her husband, her father-in-law, her mother-in-law, she starts serving and all the guests and everything. So she gives all the ornaments and everything, all the expensive things she had. She gives all that to her mother-in-law, and she serves her father-in-law by worshipping him and controlling her speech, never saying anything ill towards them or harsh to them, and obeying all their uh, orders and whatever they ask her to do. She also very pleasing to her husband Satyavan, and she did all type of work supporting him. She was very kind and controlling her temper, and she was looking after her husband very well in private as well. Then, like that, she was living in that ashrama, but back of her mind, still it was counting what Narada said, saying Satyavan is going to die in a year. So with that, she never got any good sleep. She was always thinking about what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Like this, the days have passed, and the day of Satyavan's death is approached. So Savitri realizes that only 4 days to go from the day Narada said Satyavan was going to die. So she starts and she decides to do a vow called vrata called Triratra vow. So Triratra vow is fasting for 3 days and then eating. So there are different like that vrata vows. So fasting for 3 days, 6 nights, 15 nights, and things like that. So there are different vows. She says she decides to do Triratra vow when that 4 days was left. So hearing this, her father-in-law, King Dimatsena, became very worried, and she says that it's very hard to fast for 3 nights together. So you are brought up as a princess. It is not going to be. It's going to be very difficult for you. And but Savitri says that I will observe this vrata. I have taken this for some reason, and with my perseverance I will do it, because perseverance is the only thing that can give us the success. So with that, Savitri, Dimatsena says that uh, I won't say no to you doing this vrata. You complete your vrata. Again, this is important here. Shastra says that a woman, I think we said this in Mahabharata previously as well. So when woman decides to do vrata, she has to take permission from her husband. Okay, so here she asks for their permission to do this Triratravoo, and she got blessings from Dimatsena as the elder in that house, got permission to do that vrata. So with that, Savitri starts that vrata, 3 days of fast, 3 nights, 3 days fasting vrata. And she became very weak because of that. And on the fourth day, when the vrata was finished, that day is actually the day when Satyavan is to die. Savitri wakes up and she completes all the morning rites and duties and everything. And she, on back of mind, she's thinking, today is the day. Today is the day it's going to happen. And she does all the morning duties, worships fire, Agni, and then the Brahmanas, everyone, and all those Brahmanas bless her, saying that she be never suffer widowhood. That means Dirgha Saumangale Bhava. So they bless her that she will be long married, and may her husband live long time. Like that, they bless and never suffer widowhood. So Savitri, thinking about that blessing and saying, hope that happens, hope that happens. But she also knows what Narada said will never go false. So while she was thinking like that, her father-in-law comes and says, you have completed your 3 nights fasting. Now come and have the food. Savitri says that I have completed this vrata, but I will eat when in the evening comes. I will eat in the evening, because Savitri did not want to eat till the evening when the day finishes. She wanted to see what's going to happen. She did not want to eat till her husband is alive. So till as she realizes that she wanted to eat only after realizing that her husband is alive and not dead. So she says that I will eat in the evening. So then at that time, Satyavan picks up his axe and he tells his father that I'm going to the forest to pick the woods and fruits and things, roots and things like that for feeding and the Agni fire sacrifices for wood and things like that. I will go and get it. Savitri at that time tells Satyavan that you should not go alone. I will also come with you. I don't want to be separated from you. Hearing this, Satyavan says that you never came with me to forest. What is this new thing today? And the forest is, you just finished your fasting, you still not had your food, you look already very weak, and you can't walk this path because it is, there are thorns and stones and very difficult to walk in this forest. So you can't walk, go in this forest with me. Savitri says that I don't suffer because of the fasting or anything. I don't feel any tiredness. I have made up my mind to come with you. So don't stop me, please. And Satyavan says, if you really want to go, that's fine by me, but ask your in-laws, ask my parents if they are, because they should not think that I took you to forest and they should not blame me for that. So Savitri then goes to Dhimatsena father-in-law and her mother-in-law, saying, I want to go with my forest. He's going to get the fruits and wood. I want to go there. So please let me go. And Dhimatsena says that since Savitri has come here about a year ago, she has never asked for anything. Today she is asking one thing. Let's let her do it. And they say that, okay, you can go with Satyavan to the forest. So with that, Savitri goes to forest, and after some time, Savitri, on their way, Satyavan explores all the rivers, plants, trees, and everything on his route. Every day he used to go. And then after some time, Satyavan was cutting the trees and things like that. He feels very tired and he comes to Savitri and says, I'm feeling very tired. My body is aching. My head aches quite a lot. I'm feeling very tired. I don't know what's happening. Entire body is paining. And while he was saying, Savitri immediately realized something is wrong. So she goes and holds him, and immediately Satyavan collapses and he falls on her lap. And keeping her head on her lap, she sits there and rethinking whatever Narada said, that's the time has come. So while she was saying, thinking like that, a person who is in red color clothes with red eyes, carrying a nose in his hand, very head with a large crown on his head, he comes there, huge person comes there, and that person saying him, Savitri realizes that this superhuman form you have, you must be a devata. Tell me who you are and what you intend to do. Hearing this, Yama, who was there, he says that you are devoted to your husband. You are very much having have a lot of ascetic merit, and this is the reason I am speaking to you. Know that I am Yama. I come here to take your husband Satyavan because his life here, his time here is finished. Savitri says that normally I heard that your people come, your agents come here, Yama's agents, your uh, Yamadutas come, your agents come here to take people. Why have you come? And but Yama at that time says that this Satyavan is very truthful and has a lot of merits. That's why I come here. I come here to take myself because he deserves that respect. Saying this, Yama pulls Satyavan's life out of his body and then he puts that in a noose he was carrying and he starts heading towards southern directions where Pitrus are. So Yama's direction is southern. He starts going in that direction. Savitri immediately starts following him. Yama, looking at her following him, says that don't come with me. Satyavan's body is there. Go and do his cremation and all the other rites that needs to happen. Once person is dead, do that. Savitri says, no, wherever my husband is, that's where my life is, and I will come with him. And if that means I'm going to come to your world, and that's where I'm going to come. And she says that by walking 7 steps with somebody, one makes that friendship, and that with that friendship, I want to tell you something. Because I walked with you this distance, talking to you this much distance, I consider you as my friends. And that's why, with that, I'm going to tell you something. Those people who do not have their soul under control, their atma, their self-restraint, those who do not have, but still go through the 4 phases of life. Like, for example, brahmacharya, grahastha vanaprastha, and sannyasa, these things, they do not attain anything. But on the other hand, those people who have their self restraint, they have fully under control, senses, everything under control, even if they spend their entire life in one mode of this life, they will benefit from it. All the religious merit, they will benefit from it. So she, Savitri says that, saying again, he saying that she, in her this mode of married wife, she has done all the service, and with that she says that, and hearing this, Yama becomes very pleased. He says, your words are very sweet. I'm very pleased. Accept your husband's wife, accept your husband's life. Ask a boon. What boon do you want? And Savitri says that my father-in-law does not have eyesight. He can't see anything. Give him his eyesight back and make him strong like Agni and Surya. So make him. Yama says, okay, so be it. Now, don't follow me. Go back. Savitri still continues to follow him, and she says, I'm no longer tired in my presence or presence of wherever my husband is. I'm no longer tired, so that's why I'll come with you, because you're carrying my husband. I will come with you. And she says that even one single discussion with the person who is right is pious is highly desirable. A friendship with them is still more, and discussion and engagement with those virtuous people never go fruitless. Therefore, one should always try to live with the virtuous people, righteous people. So she again says here that spending her time with her husband and now with here with speaking to Yama will never go of waste. And Yama says again, I'm very pleased with your whatever you have said. That's very much that wisdom is, and that learning you have is great. So I'm going to give you one more boon, accept Satyavan's life. Savitri says that my father-in-law has lost his kingdom. Let him regain his kingdom, and he let him never renounce his duties, make him so that he never has to give up his duties. His duties is kshatriya, is to rule the kingdom. Currently he's living like a brahmana, so let him never get into that kind of situation. And Yama says that, so be it, that's going to happen. Now go back, because do not take any more trouble. So do not take any more trouble here coming with me, so go back. Savitri says that you normally control all the creatures and everybody, and you have directions or rights to take them away, and you do it according to that. You do not take lives just because you want to take somebody's life, but you take it because that's the rule and that's what you do. And it is the eternal duty of the good towards all the creatures not to injure them, either in thought or word or in our actions. So we should always show love to them. So just like here in my husband in current state, some people are destitute of devotion and skill. My husband is currently is dead, right? So he is those people who are without devotion and skill, they are like dead people. The good people always show mercy. Again, Savitri here indirectly telling Yama that you show mercy to me, you show mercy to us and protect us. So Yama again says that your words are very much pleasing. Ask one more boon, accept Satyavan's life. What do you want? And Savitri says, my father is without sons and is after him that uh, his race is going to end. So give him boon that he is going to have 100 sons and all strong and going to rule. And Yama blesses her saying, okay, that's it. So you have come far enough. You asked far enough, too much. Go back now. Savitri says that staying by my husband is, I'm I don't realize that how much distance I walked as long as I'm with him. And she starts praising Yama, saying that you are the son of Surya, and that's why you are called Vaivasvata, and you are equal to all the creatures and things like that. And she also says that one should always have confidence in what one is doing as a righteous thing, and even if that's and there is a little bit of doubt everyone. That's why I want to be become part of this righteous thing. And she says that once people should always, it is that people who rely on this dharma, then only they only survive and they only benefit from it. Yama again says, I'm very pleased with you, accept Satyavan's life. What do you want? This is the fourth boon. After this, you are going away. Go, you have to go back. Savitri says, I want with me and Satyavan together, we should have children. We should have 100 children. Bless me like that. And they should be capable of strong. They should be strong and high strength and prowess. And they should be continuing our race. And Yama says, so wait, let it happen. Now don't come follow me anymore. You have already come too far. Go back. Savitri again continues. She starts speaking to him, saying that the pious people with them, again, it never goes fruitless. So, nor in danger or anything like that. So, we should always look for the pious people. They never harm you. And that's again, right, is that it is that dharma that supports the earth. It is the dharma that controls what's the past and future. It is the dharma that always gives the company for anyone. So that's why it is the dharma, eternal practice that everyone should practice good and dharma. So she says that dharma, uh, the good office is never thrown away by the good and virtue. So anything that's good, one should never throw away, neither the interest of dignity and suffers one should So she explains this, what's the dharma and how one should follow the dharma and things like that. Yama becomes pleased and says that you are speaking all the good things about morality, ask me one boon that's one can never imagine. And Savitri says that I don't want anything more than keeping your promise. You already said that Satyavan and I are going to have 100 sons. If he's not alive, I can't have sons with him. So bring him back to life. So, yeah, with that, has no option because he has already promised that she's going to have 100 sons. So Yama says, so be it. And with that, he says that your husband will come back to life. Your father-in-law will regain his eyesight and he will get his kingdom. Your father will get 1,000 sons. You will have 1,000 children, 100 children, and you will have 100 children. So with that, your race and your father's race will continue. So now go back. So with that, Savitri returns uh, to where Satyavan's body was lying, and she comes there and puts her Satyavan's head on her lap. And after a little while, Satyavan slowly wakes up and she says, "I have slept for quite a long time. What happened? Why did you not wake up? What happened? I was very tired and I don't remember anything. What happened?" And Savitri says that you have come here for the nothing. Yama's things came, but she did not go into any detail. And Satyavan again says that I come here for the fruits and wood. I was very tired. I slept. I don't remember anything. I saw somebody huge coming, but I can't remember anything after that. So Savitri says that it's already night, very getting very dark. So your parents, my father-in-law, mother-in-laws, are must be very much scared. We were not returned. They must be very much worried. Satyavan says it's getting very dark, so you will not be able to walk in this. And Savitri says that there is we can stay here tomorrow morning when forest becomes visible. We can then go from here. Nothing will happen to uh, father-in-law and mother-in-law. They will not do anything. Satyavan at that time, in sorrow, grief, he says that my father-in-law and my father and mother, they never leave me alone. Mother always brings me home at evening and takes care and make sure that I am home by evening. Once I was very much little bit away and they were very much worried. So they will be very much stressed and in sorrow now searching for us because we are not returned even though it is very dark. Savitri says that if I have done anything good till now, nothing will happen to them. So if I have done any charity, if I have done any austerities, if I have performed any sacrifices or anything like that, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, they nothing bad will happen to them. And Satyavan says that let's not wait here. Let's start our journey. And both of them start heading home. In that night itself, the Savitri leaves all the fruit and things collected there. They just pick the axe and then they start making their way back home. And on their way, it's they see because of the bright moon, they could see the path. So slowly, they make their journey towards home. Here, Dhimatsena and his wife Shebya, they were looking for Satyavan. He got his vision back. He started seeing everything. Dhimatsena started seeing everything. With his wife Shebya, they started searching for Satyavan everywhere and Savitri everywhere. They go to from one Brahmana's house to another, asking whether they found Satyavan, they saw Satyavan anywhere, and things like that. Then there was a Brahmana who killed Suvarchas. He says that considering all the austerities, self-restraint, and all the behavior that Savitri has, Satyavan definitely lives. Gautama at that time says that I have studied Vedas, I practice vows, watch brahmacharya mode, and everything else, and I tell you that Satyavan lives. Similarly, when Gautama says that all his disciples says that my gurus, our gurus never told any lie, so definitely Satyavan lives. And the rishis assembled there, all of them says that Satyavan bears all the signs of uh, she's never going to be a widow. Immunity, she has immunity from widowhood, so that's why Satyavan lives. Bharadwaja, Daibhya, Mandavya, Daumya, all these rishis, they say that they also give assurance there that Satyavan lives. Hearing this, Dhimatsena feels a little bit better, but still he hasn't seen Satyavan. And little while later, Savitri and Satyavan return, and they see that Dhimasena has got his eyesight back, and they ask what happened, why you're late, and things like that. Satyavan says that I don't know anything. I was very tired. I just slept uh, there for a long time. And then Gautama says that this all Savitri knows all this. Tell everybody. And Savitri explains all the things that happen, how Narada has previously told that only 1 year life left, and because of that, he had Yama came and took his life, but I followed him, and then Yama became pleased, granted me 5 boons with my father-in-law getting his eyesight, his kingdom back, my father getting 1,100 children, and I have Satyavan's life back, and also 100 children. So with that, they all applaud uh, Savitri for her uh, good behavior and chastity and things like that. They behavior and they applaud her. And with that, night has passed, and Dimatsena next morning he hears that a large number of people arriving at his ashrama. They say that his kingdom, was taken over by somebody, a minister previously, that uh, person was killed, that enemy was killed, and all his ministers were run away, killed as well. So his army, the enemy's army has disappeared from that place. So people want him back, whether he is blind or not, and they come here and see that Dhimatsena has regained his eyesight, so they take him back. So here, after some time, Savitri also gives birth to 100 children. Her father as well, Ashwapati also, through his wife Malavi, gives birth to 100 sons who later on becomes known as Malavas. So Markandeya explains that so did Savitri, who was of high fortune, rescued her father, mother, father-in-law, mother-in-law, everyone. And this Savitri, just like that Savitri, this Draupadi is also will rescue all of you because of her good conduct. And Vaishampayana explaining this story of Pativrata Mahatmya says that anyone who listening to this story of this excellent story of Savitri attains happiness, success, and everything in life and never meets in misery. And any woman listening to this will never suffer widowhood. So this story concludes your Pativrata Mahatmya. We will look at the next thing next week, next time. Any questions?